Welcome to the Sharkpreneur podcast with Kevin Harrington and Seth Greene. Kevin Harrington is the inventor of the infomercial, one of the original sharks from the hit TV show Shark Tank, and has generated over $5 billion in TV and digital direct response sales. Seth Greene is the world's first trusted authority on cutting-edge direct response marketing, a best-selling author, and the only 3-time Marketer of the Year nominee. On the podcast, Kevin and Seth interview Sharkpreneurs who share straight talk on what it takes to explode your business.
Do you want to become insanely successful? Do you want to be the go-to guru in your industry? Do you want to be talked about for all the right reasons? For over 40 years, Kevin Harrington has helped people just like you become significant influencers. Now he's broken the process down in the Key Person of Influence Roadmap, and it's yours for free. Just text KPI to him at 727-888-2100. Text KPI to 727-888-2100 right now and claim your free step-by-step guide. Text KPI to 727-888-2100 to get the recognition you deserve and experience the success as the go-to voice everyone listens to in your industry today. Welcome to the Sharkpreneur podcast. This is your co-host, direct response marketing expert, Seth Greene. Today, I've got the good fortune to be joined by Stephen Floyd. Stephen has been a search engine marketer for over 10 years. In 2004, he ranked his website, gurustogo.com, #1 for computer repair globally. Not in one little town, all of the towns. He held the #1 position 4 years in a row until the company was sold for over $1 million. He is also a honorably discharged combat veteran of the U.S. Army Rangers, the 508th Infantry Airborne, and the 502 Infantry Air Assault. Stephen, thank you for your service, and thank you for joining us.
Awesome. Thanks for having me.
All right, so let's go back in time a little bit. So you ranked gurustogo.com for #1 for 4 years in a row. How did you get into SEO in the first place?
Well, the short version is that my first real job out of the Army, I worked for Microsoft actually. And so I started doing all kinds of different IT work, and I ended up being a subcontractor for pretty much all the big players at the time. So this is back, when now Geek Squad is kind of the people, but back then there was 4 or 5 companies that were kind of competing in that same space. And I had my own company subcontracting for them. Well, one of them, called Gurus to Go, approached me to become a partner in the business. And I was the subject matter expert, and my partner, kind of handled the quote business side. So we threw up our website, and we were excited, and we were ready for the flood, and nothing. So I quickly decided that I've got to figure out how to do this, SEO thing. So I spent months buying, I don't know how many, tens of thousands of dollars worth of training, joining every group that I could belong to. The interesting thing, and I know you know this, one of the interesting things about SEO and digital marketing is that there's not really a degree for that. There's no, you don't go to college and, major in SEO, right? So you're kind of on your own in the beginning, so I probably, spent some money investing in things that didn't work.
I think we've all done that. But I've got a storage unit full of those crates.
Well,
me too. I've got the binders of 1997, 3 easy payments.
Right. So, I have, no lie, I have terabytes of training, that I've downloaded. I'm kind of a glutton for punishment. I love learning. I'm in a PhD program right now. I have my master's degree. But, so I really feel like I was blessed. I really feel like, that, it could have gone one way or the other. And I really feel like I was blessed, and I found some training that worked. Actually, I ended up kind of synergizing several different trainings, that I had. And, the funny thing is, what you mentioned before, so, everybody probably doesn't know this. I know you've been around as long as I have, so you do. But back at the time, there was only one Google. So now there's a Google, for every, major country, language, there's 20 or 30. And if you type in computer repair, in the, let's say, the Taiwan, for instance, right, or Japan, then you're going to get a result for Taiwan or Japan. But back in the day, in 2004, it wasn't true. Everybody was .com, or at least it was predominantly. So if you typed in computer repair, home computer repair, business computer repair, anywhere in the world, you would get us, which of course wasn't great because we were only based in the US. So, we actually would get tons and tons and tons of, phone calls, from people that, weren't in our service area. But we were very blessed, and we built that business up, me and my partner. And then we actually ended up getting purchased by our largest customer. And I went and worked for them for a year. That was part of the deal. We became a new business unit in their big, big company. And so I worked for them for a year. And then, I decided to go ahead and just, do my own thing again. And I had this skill that I was blessed with, and, just kind of jumped into it then on my own. So it was a necessity to grow that initial business. But when I was done, and of course we had a nice payout from it, which was, awesome. And so from then on, I just, SEO, really digital marketing became my thing. I started spending, time, in groups and forums and trainings and, just trying to learn. I've actually been in it for 16 years. And because of that, I've got years of experience in multiple different things. So it's really fun. I love that, like if you knew math doesn't change very often,
Okay. So you're going down a rabbit hole. So I got to ask.
Yeah.
All right. So SEO, we're not smart enough to do it. So God bless you for pulling it off. And we were never, when we tried a decade ago, we could never keep up with the changes, and they were a lot slower back then. So how do you stay on top of the algorithm updates and all of the changes and keep your sites ranking?
I like to think of my method, or I guess my strategy. So I am a Google partner. I'm very active in the, the legit, like Google community. I'm a Google tester. And so I stay on top of, everything that Google tells you to do, like to rank in Google, right? I'm very familiar with, with their map. But, like I always tell my students, getting SEO advice from Google about, in a lot of ways, is like asking a father how to get lucky with his daughter, right? Because, Google's revenue comes from pay-per-click.
Right.
So they don't want you to be successful at SEO. And so my strategy has always been, and I don't think it's ever going to not work. It's like special operations. So, Google has to fight a big battle. So if we think of it in terms of warfare, Google has to come on the field with their tanks and their artillery, and all this. And we don't, we can be like, special operations soldiers. We can be ninjas. We can choose our battles. So the key, in my opinion, has been to really understand what they tell you that they want, but then look at, the people that are winning. A metaphor or analogy, I guess I like to always use is that, Google has to show you their hand, right? If you want to, see how to rank for a particular phrase, look at page 1. They have to show you. So understanding what they tell you you're supposed to do, but then looking at who's actually winning and who's winning consistently, then you can come up with your own strategy. And I would say that I probably do 98% of what Google says to do, but it's that 2%. The 2% is kind of like the steroid. So, the 98% would be eating right and working out hard, right? If you're like, say, a professional athlete. But that last 2 or 3% would be like the steroid, that really, enables people like me and students of mine to be able to compete budget-wise with massive agencies.
Okay, so you mentioned students of yours. So tell us a little bit how you're teaching and that ripple effect and stuff like that.
Yeah, so I first started teaching, I guess it was around 2010, 2011. So I was actually in some online courses that some other people had put out. And I saw people struggling in the group. So, I wasn't getting paid or anything. I was just a student like everybody else. But I saw them struggling with things. And so I started to help people out. And then some of the people that had the courses started going, hey, this guy kind of knows some stuff. So they reached out to me. And then I started doing content for people that, like, as a ghost coach. So, I would teach them the stuff, and then they would come out and kind of present it as their own, which I guess it's kind of Right. It's kind of like a Milli Vanilli kind of thing, a little bit, except I think that's perfectly fine as long as the training is good. As long as it works. So I did that for several years. And then I said, hey, if I'm going to do this, why be a ghost guy, and make a little bit of money when I can come in front, and kind of have my own thing. So I launched after being a coach, a paid coach, officially in several really large programs. I'll bet some of the people that I've worked with are people that you've had on the show. I know Dave Schloss y'all had on recently.
Yes, we did.
Facebook wizard. I was just at a mastermind with him this last couple of days. A great guy. Great podcast, by the way, too.
Thank you.
Yeah, it was really good. I love it because they're not 8 hours long. You come in, you get some great info. You guys are funny, a lot too. So it's entertaining and informative. But as of right now, the most I've ever had was 5 different communities that I was teaching. And that got to be challenging. So right now I have one that's me exclusively. And then I have one that's a partner that's a fairly large one as well. I really love teaching now. It's, there's nothing better to me. My why, I guess, for it really, I love, taking, let's say, a single mom and helping her to be able to work from home, and
So
spend
let's
more
talk
time.
about that. So is your ideal student, is that the person who's going to then take what you learned, what you taught them, and get paid to implement it for other businesses? Or is it the ad agency?
I do both, and I love both. So a lot of people, one thing that really surprised me when I started doing this is how many people who own their own business, or even professionals. And it's so funny to me, and maybe this is just, unique to me, but I've had more than a dozen chiropractors, right? So people that went to, medical school, that loved doing marketing so much that they're not even chiropractors anymore. They're full-time marketers.
Yeah.
And so I love, helping people that want to get, traffic for their own businesses. But my heart, my real kind of, touchdown for me is, someone who, I have had several students who have had unhealthy spouses or relatives, that have required a lot of care. And when you become a successful digital marketer, as I know you are blessed to be able to, make a decent living and have a lot of flexibility normally. So, when I get letters from people saying that, you've changed my life, your training has changed my life because, now I'm able to stay at home with my, my sick mom. And not only am I able to stay at home and spend that time, I can afford to pay these crazy bills, that are coming on. So the teaching part is it's fun. It's one of my favorite. I actually enjoy the teaching more than I enjoy the doing now, because for me, it's all strategy. I don't actually do any implementation. I have people that, pay for that. But it's fun to come in and, everybody loves, thanks for helping me story.
Yes.
We all love that, whatever our aspect is. But I didn't think about that when I started doing it. I just thought, hey, I'm going to help some people make some money. And
Right.
I didn't realize that, what the impact could be, potentially for people.
Yes, there is a much bigger ripple effect.
It's wonderful.
Awesome. So after Gurus to Go, you talked about the students working from home, taking care of mom or being home with the kids. Can you share any of your student success stories where they achieved a great result as well? Maybe not Gurus to Go, ranked globally, but something that made a difference in their lives or their clients' lives.
Yeah, I could sit here for an hour. Of course, we won't do that. But I'll tell you one of my favorite stories. And of course, I'm not saying names, so everything's fine. One of my favorite stories, we were on a selling webinar for one of our companies, and someone started private messaging me through Facebook Messenger. I never answer those on a selling webinar. We don't sell our training one person at a time. We do webinars with thousands of people and, answer questions and chat. But something about this got my attention. And the short version of the story is that it was a husband and wife, and they were having really bad marital problems because of their financial problems, their financial issues. And they've been married, I think, almost 30 years. Wonderful, wonderful people. And they said, this training, this is like a last straw for us. If we invest in this, and it doesn't work, this is probably the end of our marriage, basically.
No pressure.
Right. No pressure. And I am a licensed professional counselor. It's not my profession,
wow.
but I'm actually, I work with people in therapy, anyway, I talked to them about it. They were a perfect fit for our program because they already had a lot of experience in sales and marketing. And so all they really needed was the machine, I guess, as I call it. They needed all the moving parts and fulfillment and all that. So fast forward 6 months down the road, they're making more money than they've ever made before. Their family is, they're happier than they've ever been before. And they wrote me this, gosh, it was 4 or 5 pages long, email. And, that's the kind of stuff, I don't know, it's hard to even put into words how gratifying or fulfilling that is, to see that. But, one of my other favorite student stories is a guy in New York, and he's a martial arts instructor. And he started the training to, get more, students for his martial arts school. And he had 2 locations at the time. Fast forward it took about 2 years. He has like a dozen schools.
Wow.
And he loves it so much that now he is I don't know which he makes more money from, but I know that a big part of what he does and what he really loves is he has a, martial arts SEO, consulting company. So, he teaches other people, not his competitors, obviously, how to, get more students for their martial arts schools. And so, for him, it's been just, again, financially, it's been a blessing, but he's also been able to really impact, these other instructors, because that's one of the biggest things for, for any business, but especially those kind of things. People who start martial arts schools are typically, they're martial arts guys. They love martial arts.
Yeah.
They may not know a lot about business or marketing.
Right.
But when you can fill their school, you've got someone that's got 5 students and you can, they got 30 students, by the end of the month, then, you mentioned it, I think twice already, the ripple.
Yes.
It's just, it's just amazing. So it's fun. I consider myself one little tiny little dust particle, part of that, that win, but I'll take it, it's just the best thing ever.
Absolutely.
Helping people and, helping people succeed is just,
what are some of the biggest misconceptions people come to you with around SEO?
We are in one of the only industries, I believe, where the largest player kind of in the game has a vested interest in disinformation. So, all of the quote legit, like big SEO companies are like, let's say, like the online, magazines and things like that and the conventions, they're very heavily financially incentivized, to kind of tell the story that Google wants, which is if you build it, they will come, right? For the last 5 years, I guess, Google's answer, how do you do SEO is you just create good content. That's all you have to do. Just create great content and then magically people find it. And, and so that has been really challenging because, and it's funny, I had a group that came to me, a very large training group through a gentleman named Bob Proctor, which I'm sure you've heard of Bob, right? Great guy. But people, bought our training, because Bob said, hey, these people are great. I've worked with them for a while, and it can help your finances. I got on the onboarding webinar with one of my partners, and I realized that a good percentage of people on the webinar almost literally didn't know what SEO stood for. Wow. Bob said, this is good. And they, jumped in, but I told them, I said, you know what, this is kind of like a glass is, half empty kind of a thing, or, having no SEO knowledge a lot of times is better. It's better to start with.
You have to unlearn.
Yeah. And so, like people that, for my agency, when I use people, I don't take people typically that have other training. I like to start, someone that has a good attitude, and a good work ethic, and, just jump right in. It's really not hard today. Doing SEO is really not hard today, but there's so much misinformation that's easy. You could go broke, doing the wrong thing. So it's just very, very kind of a weird, kind of a dynamic there between us and Google.
Got it. That makes total sense. Fascinating interview. So for folks who want to learn the right way, to pull all of this off, where is the best place for them to go and learn more about you and your trainings?
I only have one website for that, and it's my name. It's Stephen with a PH, B as in boy, Floyd.com. I don't even know if there's like a sign up on there right now, to be honest with you. I think it's just a website about information. At some point soon, I'll get something on there. So if people, check back, but I'm not super aggressive with, I'm not going to be calling you or, sending you a bunch of emails or anything, So if people want to go there and sign up, I send out stuff from time to time, but that's it right now.
Okay, we will send them to Stephen B. Floyd. Stephen, thank you so much. Fascinating interview. If your story hasn't been already, you should probably write a book. It sounds like there's a whole lot more there.
Thanks.
We really appreciate you joining us, and we will send everyone to StephenBFloyd.com.
Awesome. Thank you so much for having me.
Do you need money to fund your idea, product, or service? Are you ready to take your business to the next level, but need capital to get it done? Kevin Harrington has heard more than 50,000 pitches and knows how to help you make the perfect pitch to get the funding for your entrepreneurial dream. He's distilled the process down in his perfect pitch cheat sheet, and it's yours for free. Just text PITCH to him right now at 727-888-2100. Text PITCH to 727-888-2100 right now and claim your free perfect pitch cheat sheet. Text PITCH to 727-888-2100 to start funding your dream today.
This show has been produced by Market Domination, LLC. To discover how you can have your own show completely done for you and turn it into a real published book and become the authority in your marketplace, go to www.marketdominationllc.com/podcast offer.